It's the Pete Sousa Show. We are live in our North Texas location today. Want to give you a quick kickoff to the show. We are presented, of course, by Slovacics. I have a new microphone here, so hopefully it's working well. I'm excited about it. And yeah, this is when I take it too loud. It goes up to yellow, green. Okay. Either way, I think I got something going here. We are going to get going because I got like 10 minutes here this morning, maybe 15, before we get into our bets, all-in bets with Corey Dickman. I planned on doing a longer segment, but I had to move my flight up. I'm going home to Philadelphia. My mom is going through some stuff. We've all been there. So where they say, like, prayer warriors come out. But no, for real, everybody. She's doing okay, but she took a little fall. We're going to get home. You know, she's got a good cut, man. So we'll get her back together. I will tell you, to start things off today, of course, we're presented by Slovacics. We'll be there for a live show next week. Man, the sporting news and the sporting news was like, it was paramount. It was like the rock of sports journalism and Sports Illustrated. This is back when I was younger. That's all you would read. And if you read Sports Illustrated, it was a little more featurey and I don't even want to say flowery, maybe a little more insight personally. And the sporting news, I thought, did a great job of kind of telling you what was to come. Great job with analytics, X's and O's, numbers. But now we're like, I open up my phone today and I see sporting news. So initially, this is how, by the way, like older people, like not like me, but maybe like older people that are older than me or maybe my age, but I'm not old because I'm unique, right? Yeah, right. But so the sporting news has a report. Lakers predicted to cut ties with LeBron James in favor of Bucks $112 million star. Like, dude, that's a big whoa. Sporting news says the Lakers are predicted to cut ties with LeBron James. Like, whoa, okay. Let me see here. And then you go into the article and it says that they should trade LeBron for Dame. And here it goes. Here's the quote, right? Because we all aggregate today. This is the sporting news is aggregating this morning. And the sporting news says, here's the quote they use. Here is the blockbuster that could shake the NBA to its core. Fadeaway World's Eddie Bitrar wrote on Thursday. No knock on Eddie Bitrar. He's probably never heard of me. I've never heard of Eddie Bitrar, and I've never considered him to be like a Peter Vesey in the 1990s or an Adrian Wojnarowski or Shams Charania present day. Like, who is this dude? So now, I mean, this is like, it just keeps getting worse, right? I know everybody's got a story like this. But today, this was mine because also, too, I'm interested in what's going on with LeBron because he's missed. He took a leave of absence because of personal stuff, and you hate that. You just hate that because I love LeBron, and I always want to see him playing and doing well and being happy. He's just been a big part of entertainment in my life and stuff. He's been so fun to follow. I'm hearing stuff. This is something to share. Because of like circles I'm in, lucky enough to be in with work and stuff. So I've been asking people about Bronny and how he's doing in the D League or G League. And he's not doing very well. From what I've heard, he's certainly not the best player on the floor in the NBA, obviously. He wasn't the best player on the floor at USC, and he's not the best player on the floor in the G League, which, okay, I get that. But the issue now is he's not playing. And what I mean by that is like, this is a young player who needs as much repetition and work as he can get. And he doesn't want to play road games for the Lakers G League team. And so what does that sacrifice? It sacrifices reps. And he needs a lot of work. Like I'm hearing from people like that have seen him play in the G League, guys around NBA front offices, like that are like, he's not very good. And this probably will not end well. I hope it does. I think it's a really cool story. I've gone on record here several times saying that I love that LeBron has the juice to do this. I never thought we would see that from him. Um, and it's just hard to imagine because I remember when he was like 16, 17 years old. And now he is basically pulling strings around the NBA that I only remember someone like David Stern or, now Adam Silver being able to pull. So props to LeBron for getting this done, but maybe an oversight could have been like, "Hush, how's this going to affect my kid's mental health?" But we'll find out. People go through worse stuff, and I'm sure LeBron knows that, and I'm sure he's a good dad. But yeah, so one, the sporting news. God, you're not the old sporting news, and I should know that. Shame on me. And LeBron James, he's not getting traded, regardless of what these headlines say. But his son would like to see him get more reps. Last night, I watched something, and I have to share about it with you because if I didn't, I would be remiss. I watched the Jamie Foxx special on HBO, or not on HBO, on Netflix. Whoa. Okay. One of the most talented individuals like that we have gotten a chance to witness in my lifetime. There's no question. From In Living Color to Any Given Sunday to, Bait was a movie with Jamie Foxx in 2000 that I liked. Let's see what else. There's another movie I saw recently, The Great White Hype, that Jamie Foxx is in. Every role that he was in, he played perfectly. It seemed like, and of course, won an Oscar with Ray, and then just on to like a major, big budget Hollywood career. But like a comedian, singer, his impressions are out of this world. His near-death experience in Atlanta. And trust me, if you watch this special, it will become very clear to you that this all happened in Atlanta because his special is from Atlanta. So the special, let's get back to it. It hits you over the head out of the gate. You almost get goosebumps. But it is a wild ride, and it's tough to keep up with Jamie Foxx in this ride. It is super emotional. There's tears, there's laughs, there's jeers, there's jokes about Puff. It's a one-man show, and it's almost like going to see a preacher or somebody testify. There's a lot of God stuff, which I'm cool with, but some people might get like a little like, whoa. There's a lot of praise, and there is some humor, but I'm gonna say this, and look, man, like Jamie Foxx, as much as he's a comedian, you want to talk about somebody that takes themselves pretty serious. That's all I'll say. I mean, there is a melodramatic undertone, and then just a dramatic tone. A lot of this stuff where I watched it and I thought, oh man, like I finally, honestly, I turned it off. It got so kind of weird and awkward. But it's great to see that he's back out there. Apparently, and I can share he had a brain bleed and a stroke. And he was really, really in bad shape. We're lucky to have him in our lives still. So if you check out that, I would even say give the special, just give yourself a taste. Okay. And it's almost like sitting down for chocolate cake. Like you can only have so much. It's just that rich. So check it out. See for yourself. I'd be interested to see what people thought of it. My brother Michael like demanded me to watch it, and honestly, I watched it, and I don't know how he got through the whole thing. There just comes a point where it's like, okay, enough already. But it's certainly interesting, and the beginning is awesome. And he does great, and he does an impression of Cat Williams that had me laughing out loud. So it's pretty good. 49ers lost last night, and there was a situation where an NFL player sealed his own fate last night. And here's why I say that. Let me get this report up here. So their 49ers are Devondre Campbell is one of their linebackers, and he's been playing all year. The guy ahead of him got hurt in the Super Bowl last year. So that guy comes back, right? I think it's Dre Greenlaw. So Dre Greenlaw comes back. No. Dre Greenlaw is out. And who came back? Demetrius Flanagan Flowers, right? So he's in the game, and Campbell is asked to go into the game because the player who was hurt, whose name I screwed up, in the Super Bowl is now back in action. So now our boy Campbell's not playing. So Campbell is on the sidelines, and obviously he's pretty upset. More injuries hit the 49ers, as that has been the theme all year long. They put Campbell in the game, and he bunts or punts. He won't go in. He would not go in the game. And then he walks into the locker room at halftime, or I'm sorry, at the end of the third quarter, and like quits on the team. The only thing I can tell you is, like, from an experience standpoint, like these are the moves that will get you waived, and then ultimately can end your career. Like, this is a 6-year guy from Minnesota. It was an everyday starter so far this year. Started 12 or 13 games. The one game he didn't start is when the 49ers only used 2 linebackers. But like, these are moves where he's got one chance now, in my opinion and in my experience. You got to own it, right? Like, he's got to get in front of it with his agent or whoever and say, I screwed up. I never should have left the game. That's not who I am. That will minimize damage. That will still get you waived in San Francisco, but you can get a job somewhere else. This is a critical moment for this dude. If he says, no, I expected to stay in the game, what happened to me was terrible, like, that's on him. Like, he's got an issue that he's got to figure out. And it may not be in the NFL in which he figures it out. It's that precious, you know. Nick Saban has talked about seasons and just how delicate they are, right? Like, one play either way can completely transform a season. With this situation, just how delicate you need to be with your career is huge. A lot going on today in sports, but betting is coming up next with the great Corey Dickman. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Slovacics, Daniel Stark injury lawyers. I got to hit the road. Mike Hamilton rules. So does Scotty Swingler and Zach Burke and everybody back there. Cam Stewart left us. I'm not sure we still like him. I got a basketball game in Lubbock on Monday, but I'll be doing the show that morning. Everybody have a fantastic weekend, but don't go anywhere, because here's Corey with bets coming up. And by the way, next week, we're going to have a conversation with Baylor starting quarterback Sawyer Robertson. You're going to like that.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference, because my stress level when we shut down to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning, so we love Extraco.
All is right with the basketball world. God's gift to the game of basketball, the Boston Celtics, are back in the NBA Finals, baby. I don't think the Mavs did anything special. They played well enough to win, and win pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought the Celtics didn't show up to play at all, and maybe if they showed some fight in the second half, they would have lost by 15 or so. Is he in the Red Sox Team Hall of Fame?
He is also in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Something about this guy being in the Team Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I did. So,
deserved, man.
Which seems like it fit.
Sports.
All right, we are back. All in bets, alive and well. The heart continues to beat. Corey Dickman, the heartbeat of the operation.
The heart is barely beating, Pete, but we're here.
All right, let's talk about last week.
All right. Not good. Cut to the chase. 0-3 in our championship games. Normally I have some clips to help justify my picks. Didn't have time today. We'll run through it real quick. UT -2.5 lost in overtime.
I liked it.
You know, so that was close.
I liked it too.
The Iowa State, Arizona State, I had the under 49.5. Now, you're going to look at the score and be like, wow, Corey, you weren't even close there. Now, if you watch the game, and Pete, did you watch?
Oh, yeah. I
You
watched
watched.
as much as I could. I had a basketball game. But I
That
watched.
sequence in the third quarter where it was interception,
Yeah.
interception, fumble, like literally the first play of the drive for Iowa State. Arizona State then just scores 21 straight points.
I went to
Like,
practice, and it was 30 minutes later, and somebody's like, wow, did you see the score? And I looked at it, and I was like, holy crap, they're up by 30 points. now.
dude, heartbreaking. So again, I get we weren't close. I'll say it, but odd circumstances there. And then
It's-
I wanted this game so bad because Pete was all Clemson. You were all on Clemson. SMU's down how many points? They were down big in this
Yeah.
game. Come all the way back. We had them at 2.5. They tie the game, and then Clemson wins it on a game-winning field goal, and we lose the bet there. So 0-3, not a great week. We're going to bounce back, though, because
Okay.
we got Army-Navy, and we got a couple bowl games this Saturday. So
Yeah, we sure do.
but we'll get there. So overall record 20-18-1. So you're still up. You're up a little bit, okay? Your wives, your girlfriends, your husbands, father, whoever's rolling with you, they're not mad at you because you're winning. So
No,
it's
they're
okay.
not. They have no room to say anything.
They have no room. Okay, NFL, Jets, Dolphins, over 44.5. Not even close. We were great there. We win that bet. And then, the stinker, man. And a lot of people had the Bears here, Pete. I wasn't the only one. The Niners looked like they were on life support.
Yes.
And then Brock Purdy, Jennings, Kittle had a huge game, and Bears plus 3.5 is what we had. And Niners just rolled over the Bears here. It looked like the Niners team that we all thought we would see all season long. Caleb Williams did not play well, tons of sacks.
Yeah.
So not a great game. So we lost that one. So we went 1-1 in our NFL bet. So we're 16-15. We're still up.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
don't be mad. We're still up. The kicker was the mortgage bet. And we have a sponsor, Pete. We have a sponsor for the mortgage bet now.
I just heard.
Efficient Lending Incorporated.
That's our guy, Mike.
Mike Nelson, Efficient Lending. You want to buy a house? You need to get a mortgage? You need to get a loan?
By the
Dude,
way, this as illegitimate as Corey's bets may be.
Yeah.
This sponsor is legitimate.
This
Mike
sponsor-
is the real deal.
Mike is the real deal. We love Mike.
Mike
We
will not
appreciate you.
take your mortgage money
Yeah.
and gamble it.
I will say,
okay?
Mike, good on Mike. He's our sponsor starting this week. So
Yeah.
last week's mortgage doesn't really count towards Mike. So that's not his fault. But the Cowboys hung in there. We had them at plus 10.5 in the tees. They lost that game in just heartbreaking fashion. You talked to Mosley this week.
Yeah, I talked to him today.
Did Matt Mosley bring this up on Obstructed
Well,
View?
he said that I didn't have him on my show this week because the Cowboys suck and his phone stopped ringing. But
Oh.
I was like, Matt, man, I said that was such a horrible loss.
Oh, it was a
Yeah.
terrible loss. But anyway, we covered. But the other part of the bet was
I think
Bills.
Ed is still angry.
Bills plus Ed is still mad. Good old Ed. Bills plus 1.5 is the tease against the Rams. They lose by 2.
Yeah.
44-42 in a wild game. So we did not hit
Amazing game.
we didn't hit the mortgage. We're 6-5 though. So you're still up. So again, we're up everywhere, Pete. Maybe not the distance we want, but we're not losing. So anyway, okay, you ready? You ready for this week?
Dude, of course.
Okay, let's roll. So
How many were we doing in college? I'm just curious to see
We
what
got-
the mind of a degenerate on
we
a
got
slow week.
3. We got
Okay.
3, but we are going to pick up one on the NFL slate.
All right.
So because Pete, we got to catch up here. So Army Navy, tale as old as time. This game is classic. Just tell me what do you got? This is 6.5 point spread. 8 Army minus 6.5.
I like Navy.
Navy.
Yeah, I do.
I'm going Army. Let's
Okay.
go Army. Come on. I know their hearts are a little broken that they're not playing for more here,
Yeah.
but give me Army. I
Okay.
just feel good about it. All right. Jackson State travels to South Carolina. Not travels. They're playing South Carolina State.
Yeah.
Okay, Pete, in the Celebration Bowl. You know the Celebration Bowl? Are you familiar?
I know Cool in the gang.
There you go. Cool in
Yeah.
the gang. We are going Jackson State. Oh, I'm sorry. Over 54.5 points. The over-under is 54.5. Both these teams score tons of points. Go look at their last 6 games each. They're in the 30s. They're in the 40s. This is going to be a shootout.
Question, by the way.
What?
Jacksonville State's coach just took a job at West Virginia.
Perfect. The offense is still there. The quarterback's still there. Quarterback's still there. We're fine, baby. We're
It might
scoring
be
points.
West Virginia, but after this game,
54 and a half over. No doubt here. This is going to be onslaught of points in this game. Okay. All right. Did a little research on this one, Pete. South Alabama against Western Michigan in the Salute to Veterans Bowl. Okay. A lot of salute to our military.
Can't
here.
knock that name at all.
You can't knock that name.
No, respect.
Pete, the South Alabama
I can knock this pick though if I don't like it.
The South Alabama Jaguars, okay? They are favored by 7.5 points against Western Michigan. You know why we're going with South Alabama? They have a freshman on their team. You know who the quarterback is?
Yeah. What's his name?
Gio Lopez.
Yes.
Freshman.
They played UNT their first game of the season. UNT smacked him around.
They smacked him around. That's what this kid. He's a great player.
He really is.
This has transfer written all over this, especially after this bowl game. And Gio Lopez drops 5 touchdowns, 1 on the ground, 4 in the air. They are going to smother Western Michigan here, and South Alabama cruises to a salute to veterans. I had to keep looking at the name of the bowl. Salute to veterans. Salute to South Alabama Bowl. Give me them minus 7.5 and Gio Lopez riding the wave there. Okay. So that's college. You feel good about it?
I do. I actually, I like South Alabama a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just saying that? You really
No,
do?
no, I really do. I mean, that's only you picked 3 games.
I watched some highlights of Gio. Gio's great.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. He's got it. I'm telling
really
you,
good.
He will be a story 2 years from now as a transfer for Auburn.
Yeah.
Or North Carolina,
it might
maybe
be a
with
couple
Bill.
months from now, dude.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. All right. NFL to the big boys. Okay. You ready?
Yeah.
Pete, why are the Eagles favored by 5.5 against the Steelers?
Because the Steelers, we're going to learn a lot about them these next couple weeks. The Steelers are a good football team. I don't know if they're a very good football team. And I think the Eagles are a very good football team. The Eagles' defense is awesome. And that's something that I think is playing out in that line you're seeing there.
Okay. Well,
the Eagles have a very good defense.
Well, the Steelers have a good defense too.
Yeah.
I mean, TJ Watt, 5.5 is too many points. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. I know this is in Philly, but this is like, is there a real home field here? I mean, it's Pennsylvania.
Oh my God.
I don't know, Pete. Sorry. I'm taking Pittsburgh plus 5.5. I'm rolling with them. Do you know what game in the NFL has the highest over-under for the weekend?
No, just tell me. I'm not looking at
Buffalo Bills playing the Detroit Lions.
I should have known that.
Yeah. Josh Allen, Jared Goff, all the pieces, all the players.
Super Bowl preview potential.
Huge. Over 54.5. Give me the over. I can't imagine this game not being 30-27.
Yeah, it's going to be a good
33-30. Like, this is going to be a high-scoring game. And I'm going to give you an underdog parlay here in a second, and I might be going straight to this game because there's going to be lots of scoring. Okay, Pete, I'm giving you an extra credit one here.
Okay.
Normally, I just do 2 and then the mortgage bet. I got a third one, and I can't stay away. The hottest team in the NFL, the Super Bowl favorite, Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. Again, disrespected against the Packers. Okay,
I got to look at this one.
They're
okay, go ahead.
Going to Seattle. Seattle's plus 2.5. They're the underdogs here. I get this season hasn't been great at home. Seattle has the best home field advantage in all of sports. I don't care what anybody says. The Packers come in. Pete, do you remember some of these classic Packer Seahawks games?
Oh, do I ever? Yeah.
The interception in the end zone that was a touchdown interception. Who knows?
The one where you guys wanted to go to the Super Bowl.
On the onside kick,
Yeah.
Jermichael Finley just kicked it right at him. He couldn't hold it. It was the best. I was screaming. The Super Bowl didn't go so well that year, but that's neither here nor there. So Seahawks plus 2.5, and Seahawks are rolling.
Yeah, the Seahawks are rolling, and they're better in the day than they are at night. I learned that today. Just keep that in mind. This game's at 7:30.
There you go. Okay. All right. To the mortgage. This is the Efficient Lending Incorporated mortgage bet. Mike Nelson. Pete, you talked about him earlier. Pete,
Mike's the man.
Hey, Pete, there's going to be a time here soon, maybe in the next year, maybe you're looking, you got to buy a house. If you need a mortgage, go to Mike.
I will go to Mike.
He's probably got the best rates in town. I mean, he's a great guy. He has a podcast on Rogue Media Network as well. But Mike is incredible, and we appreciate him rolling with us. We do. So I am compelled. I'm nervous. We got to win this mortgage bet, right? We got to win it. So the Commanders had a bye week, right, to prep for the New Orleans Saints. Pete, they're going nowhere. They have nothing to play for. This is in a dome. Jaden Daniels feels like this is going to be the game where the Commanders say, we want the 7th seed. Okay. They're going to come out, play strong. They're -7.5. The Commanders are. We're going to tease it down 5 points, right? That's the way that the mortgage bet works. Brought to you by Efficient Lending Incorporated. The mortgage bet is the 2-team tease, and we tease it down to make this, even money. That's where we're going here. So we get the Commanders at -2.5. Pete, win by a field goal. We love 2.5. -2.5 is a great line. So
I like that.
Give me that -2.5. They can beat the Saints by 3. That's embarrassing if they don't. And then the Dolphins traveling to the Texans. Do you believe in the Texans?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
I do, because last year, I think they're like playoff loss. I think like that was important to make the playoffs and get your ass kicked just to kind of get that out of the way. So
okay,
I think there's a little more to be revealed with the Texans in their postseason.
This is where I'm at with the Texans. I think they knew they were going to win that division after week 2. And I think they've been kind of skating. I think they're going to try to flip the switch, kind of like your old, to use NBA references. You got like the Warriors of old. They kind of sleepwalk.
Shaq used to do it,
and Shaq and the Lakers. It doesn't matter if we're a 3 seed. The Miami Heat are notorious for this currently. They're it doesn't matter what seed we are, and then they turn it on. I'm worried that the Texans aren't veteran enough to be able to do that, but. We're not in the playoffs yet. The Dolphins, they win a crazy game against the Jets in overtime. They travel here to Houston. They're underdogs +2.5. We're going to take the Dolphins, but we're going to add 5 points to that spread. Get it to 7.5 for the Dolphins.
Okay.
They can lose this game by a touchdown and still cover for our mortgage bet. So I like it. The Dolphins are fighting for this playoff spot.
They are, and they're going to be playing like inside. It's not going to be like cold weather.
Yeah.
Most of their road games, I feel like when you get into November and December, they're subjected to that. They won't be this time.
They won't be. And you take, there's 2 Dolphin teams, right? There's the Tua team, and then there's the not Tua team.
Yeah.
When Tua's there, they're a good team.
Offensively,
they're a good team. So they're going to hang with the Texans here, +7.5. And that's the Efficient Lending Incorporated sponsor of the mortgage bet here on the Pete Sousa
Thank
Show.
you, Mike
All
Nelson.
in bets. We appreciate you, Mike. We're going to come through big.
All right, let's recap.
Okay, see, now you're my recall here. Army -6.5.
Okay.
Go Army. Jackson State against South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. We're going to be celebrating all night with the over 54.5. And then the salute to Veterans Bowl. South Alabama, baby. Gio Lopez. Remember the name. -7.5. They're going to win that game. Then to the NFL, we got Pittsburgh +5.5. Over 54.5. Bills at Lions. My Seattle Seahawks +2.5. And then the Efficient Lending Incorporated mortgage bet. How many times have I said it? I got to keep saying Efficient Lending.
Do we get Mike to pay every time?
We're going to get Mike to pay every time. Every time we say it. Commanders -2.5. Dolphins +7.5 in the 2-team tease for the mortgage bet. And Pete, you can pay your rent now.
We're still above 500 on the year. And this is a time for us to take advantage of postseason in football.
Yep.
And the bowl season in college. And that's what we're going to do.
Make or break right now, man. We got to close out strong.
Corey Dickman, thanks for closing out strong with us.
It's the Pete Sousa Show. Sports, Pete.
Nobody tells our stories better than our clients.
The difference is stark. I was rear-ended at a stop. I thought I was fine, and then once I got home, I realized it's a lot worse than I thought. I ended up having a ruptured disc. You say you're not hurting, and then an hour later, you're saying you're in all this pain. I just felt like most people would think that I was lying. And that's when I decided to call Daniel Stark. I owe a lot to Daniel Stark. They really got me what I deserved.
The difference is stark.
We definitely love our relationship and love Extraco. It's been an amazing experience.
They made the PPP process easier. They were reaching out to me saying, what can I do to help you? That made a huge difference because my stress level, when we shut down, to afterwards was night and day.
Our experience with Extraco has been phenomenal since the very beginning. So we love Extraco.
I mean, yeah, a new coach comes in, they're going to turn the roster. I think that's just we've got all these transfer portal stats and what Dion did and what Fritz has done. I mean, that's the deal, man. That's the game that's being played nowadays.
Maybe a little bit unknown at quarterback. I mean, unknown to the rest of the world, but he dove into the portal and got a guy who is super, super athletic.
South Dakota State's really good. Give us a little bit of breakdown about what they can do and what Oklahoma State needs to be worried about.
But look at that form right there. I need to say nothing else about this because I found one.
It is Matt Mosley, and it's the Obstructed View podcast, Rogue Media Network. I think they're learning that there's really no wonderful view of me. See, I feel like they think this feed's going to be really wonderful.
There must have been no BS, like 20 scouts, 15 to 20 NBA scouts there to see him, and he was top 5.
When your old number wasn't working, I went through various channels to track you down. So unfortunately, you can never get away from me. But I'm happy to have you today.
Nah, thanks for having me. And we always family no matter where I'm at.
All is right with the basketball world. God's gift to the game of basketball, the Boston Celtics are back in the NBA Finals, baby. I don't think the Mavs did anything special. They played well enough to win and win pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thought the Celtics didn't show up to play at all, and maybe if they showed some fight in the second half, they would have lost by 15 or so. Is he in the Red Sox Team Hall of Fame?
He is also in the Red Sox Hall of Fame.
Something about this guy being in the Team Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I did.
So,
deserved it, man.
Which seems like it fits.
Welcome to a special edition of the Doomsday Podcast. Look at this. We got one of the great golfers in the world, certainly one of the great pass rushers in NFL history.
But he also had a vision for you. And so it was like you had the best of both worlds, right? You had somebody on you early, and then you had somebody who was maybe more relaxed.
What were a couple of your biggest takeaways? The person you referred to that I spoke with, I've spoken to some personnel people and general management of the league to get some, independent, objective assessments of the players the Cowboys picked, and we'll go through that. Has the general manager changed at all in the draft?
Nope, it's been the same since I was here the last time.
We are Rogue Media Sports.